We are doing our sea trial. We are out in the Atlantic Ocean right now off the coast of Fort Lauderdale. We want to test the motor. We just did all this work to it. We want to make sure it works before we cross over. We should be in Miami tonight, and hopefully tomorrow we can cross over.
We made it all the way to Miami without an issue, dropped anchor, and stayed the night in Biscayne Bay. With every intention of crossing the next morning, we rose with the sun and started the motor, to find a knocking noise once again. After thinking all our problems were solved and we had done so much to avoid a haul-out, the reality of it struck that we could no longer avoid it. After diving on the boat and calling in some local wisdom at Dinner Key Marina, we concluded that our strut was bent and needed replacement, so we pointed our bow back to Fort Lauderdale.
All right, you ready? I can't even lift it up. There's a spike, like a metal spike on the floor I almost landed on, and it was sharp, pointy. Wow, so what a way to start the morning. We're off to get hauled out so that we can, you know, fix the things we need to fix. We have a bent strut. We need to get that fixed so we can get proper alignment. And as we're headed there to pull up anchor, of course, we thought we were done getting in this murky water and our anchor chain was wrapped around our old mooring ball. I say our old mooring ball, and I'll post a clip of what happened with that one, but that's a pretty funny story.
Well, if this says anything about your mooring ball,
it's cursed.
It is cursed.
Safe to say the rumors are true.
Yeah, it used to be right there, and now these guys have it on the bow of their boat and they just about T-boned us. Everything's good for now, so they're gonna go find an anchorage.
Yeah, so I just dove in, unwrapped it from the mooring ball stake, and once I got it off, then I was able to just pull it straight up, and we got the anchor up, and we're on our way now, but we're a little bit late, so let's get there. We are officially blocked up. We are getting the engine apart, so we're gonna rip the shaft out and then go ahead and try and get the strut down. So it is Friday, and we told her that we have a goal to be in by Tuesday. So we have to do some engine work, get the strut replaced, and paint the bottom in 5 days. So
And realign everything again.
hopefully we can get that done.
It's so hot.
Alright, so this is our culprit, we think. It's slightly bent. If you look at it from a certain angle, you can see that it's kind of twisted this way. So we're gonna scrape away some of this 5200, get to these screws, and hopefully we could just unbolt this and undo the nuts inside, and this will drop right down. If it's glued in, it's gonna be a little bit of a bigger problem, because we're gonna have to cut into this and pry it off and probably take some of the fiberglass away. So we'll probably have to epoxy or something like that, but hopefully we could just undo the bolts and we should be good to go. So we have all of the bolts exposed. We're gonna have you go up, and then you're gonna undo the nuts. I'm gonna get a Phillips head, and I'm gonna hold the bolt from down here, and you're gonna crank them off with the ratchet.
Call me. This marina that we're in has like a gate, and they close. They have certain hours we're not allowed to be in here, so we had an early haul out this morning, and now it's 2, so we got 3 hours to try to get this strut off and the new one on. We're hoping to get it done today so that we can paint the next day and like have enough time for shit to go wrong, as it usually does. Here we go. Hi.
Hi, forward, left.
Yep. gonna come out so easy. Are you holding it?
Yes.
Okay, I think it's coming off really easy. I almost feel like this is too easy. Okay, that one's...
The screws are glued in place.
Yes. So that's gonna be the hard part.
Yeah.
Alright, well, the nut is off.
Alright, star pattern.
Yep. Okay, hold on, this nut is stuck in here. Shit.
What's wrong?
Nothing, the nut is just stuck in the ratchet tip. Alright, take 5. Gotta stay fueled. You actually look really cool under our boat right now. Bolts are out. Kind of like a tooth.
Yeah.
Like when you were young, you always just picking at it all day. And finally, at the end of the day,
tie a string around it now.
yeah, we should just
Slam it over.
Yeah, we gotta just slam this.
Alright, hang on. Yeah, you got it. Yep, right here. Yeah.
Yeah! It's just so slight. Like, I keep second guessing if it's been bent, but I know it's bent.
We got it off. Yes.
Managed to only rip off a little bit, but we think that this is sealant. That's what you do.
Who, me?
Little jerk at the end.
That's how you get the flex. The pump.
What's the head jerk for though? A little neck action with it. Alright, so we just got the old strut off. It is bent. It doesn't look it, and sometimes I don't even see it in real life, but it is bent. And it's probably original to our boat, so we're just gonna change it out. It's so slight. I mean, this is a comparison. Obviously the new one, the old one. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see it on camera.
Slightly cocked.
It's cocked this way.
Yeah, you can,
It's like almost twisted. Like,
yeah, you can see it right there. Hold it the way you just held it. Yeah, right there. You can see it. Right there, you can see it ever so slightly.
and over the years it probably has a lot of electrolysis,
Yeah.
as Sasha would say. We got it off without pulling too much fiberglass. We used that debond stuff. It was great. We just layer by layer used the debond, kept spraying it, scraping, so that we wouldn't just like pry everything off and break it. Sorry.
You have blue on your face, look. Turn. Right there.
We have bottom paint all over us now. So next step is to clean up the area, sand it, and then tomorrow we'll put the new one on.
We wire wheeled this all out, got rid of all of the old 5200 that was in there. It took a lot of fiberglass, but not enough for us to need to lay up more fiberglass. It's just a couple of pieces that we're gonna fair in. So right now I'm gonna acetone this whole thing, clean it up really good, and then we're gonna fair this out, and then we'll have a brand new working area. Then we'll go in and we'll make our alignment, and we'll get the proper pitch for the strut to line up. We're making progress.
Satisfying. Making fun of me?
It's actually crazy how one thing can just make everything continue to roll. So like when we first got here, we looked at the 5200 and tried scraping it with like a screwdriver and like a chisel, and it wasn't budging. And then I saw we had a wire wheel brush, really put it on there, and it like ate the 5200 right off, and it left a pretty smooth surface. But now all we have to do is go in and fair it a little bit, and we'll have a clean slate to start putting on the prop strut.
Oh my goodness, my arms.
Good workout.
It's actually, you're so close. When I was sitting like this, really good ab workout. Like,
If you get
so we're just trying to multitask here. I'm sanding the entire boat today. It's really not taking that long. We're only 34 feet, so there's not that much surface area. It's gonna take a total of like 3 hours non-stop. Obviously I'm taking breaks in between because this is exhausting. Dre's been able to get everything else done with the strut, and then once I'm done sanding everything, we'll get together and teamwork the alignment, right? Wasting some perfectly good Dave & Buster's points there.
It's okay, we don't have a plastic putty knife. So.
Why do you look disgusted?
No, I'm not. That's my concentrated face. Oh, I put the fairing compound in there. I laid it up pretty thick. It's really hot. It's like 90 degrees plus right now, so it's drying pretty quick. Plus this stuff cures in like, it says it cures in like a half hour, so we'll probably give it like 45 minutes just to get a nice hard cure, and then we're gonna come back and smooth it out. I'm actually pretty proud of this. Even though I laid it on thick, it's still gonna look nice, and it's not like all messy around the edges, so I'm doing a good job.
Very nice. Wow. All right.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Good?
Yeah, keep going.
Good?
Yep, we're
More?
good. Yes, more. Okay, stop. The stern tube is definitely grinded on the bottom.
A little bit, yeah. But we're gonna fix that, so.
How?
I mean, we're gonna remedy
Fix
it.
the reason.
Yeah.
But you don't think it's gotten too thin here?
No.
Alright. You can see that on the bottom it was grinding. I don't know if you can really see it. Alright, you're clear. Alright, so we're back at it again today. We just finished building up some pieces of plywood, like the vertical and horizontal angle of where the shaft should sit in the stern tube from the inside. So we kind of jigged something up, and we're hoping that that stays while we can set the epoxy on the strut. This way, when we go to set the epoxy, we know that it's centered through the stern tube. So I'll show you what we did here. So we've got a wedge here. The shaft was naturally coming this way, angling this way, so we pushed it with these and built them up. It would have been better if we had another wedge actually to put here, because that would have been more secure. I'm a little scared that this might move as we're setting the epoxy. In the future, I think using a wedge for each one would have been better. Or I've seen some people build like a really good stable jig that's just like a V that holds it perfectly in place. That probably would have been ideal, but we don't have that and we didn't know how to build it. It's still kind of cocking to this side of it, don't you think? So now we're tightening the nuts from the outside so that we can play with the pitch of the strut in order to center it in the stern tube from the outside. Then we can mark where the nuts are tightened and we'll bed our epoxy in that layer.
Alright, so I'm going to mix the epoxy. I'm going to put a layer of epoxy over the strut, and then we're going to mount the strut and sandwich the epoxy. So that way, once we lock it into place and the epoxy cures, we'll have a nice solid base. So we don't believe that the strut should be glued, because before they put it up with 5200 and it had a little bit of flex to it. You want it to be rigid as possible. You don't want any flex, side to side movement, any forward and back movement. So we're going to put the epoxy there, sandwich it, let it cure. And then once it cures, we're gonna come back and flip the bolts around, and we'll have a nice level thing, and then we'll just fill in the perimeter of the recess for the strut with 4200 just to keep any water from seeping in.
Yikes.
Couldn't see the tape. The tape was white. I was there.
We're off to a great start. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Tape reveal. Nice tape reveal. You guys, yesterday I was looking over here because we ran out of blue tape right here, and I was talking to Ayana somewhere, and I was looking at this blue tape, and our boot stripe is also blue, and I wait for a second, and I accidentally taped over the boot stripe.
No, you painted
I painted over it. Yeah, I
because you thought it was the blue tape. It's alright, it'll come off.
Look at this. Oops. Alright, so today is our last official day in the boatyard. We didn't get to vlog that much today just because we were in a rush. We just had to get to it. We got a lot done. We aligned the engine with the strut. We got it to pretty good tolerance. And we got bottom paint on the strut. We got some corrosion resistant paint on the prop. Put the anodes back. We also untaped. So you ready to get out of here?
We're officially done with all our work in the yard and we're leaving for the day. We are the first haul out tomorrow morning at 7:30. It has been a rushed 4 days. We've been working non-stop. This marina actually has hours, which is different from anything we've stayed at before. So we had to use up every hour that we could, and we can only work until 5 to 6 p.m. We were just trying to get everything done real quick. And there she is, looking good.
No booty.